products or brochures or publication, whatever one may call it. Mauritius is a well-known island. It's a slice of paradise. And I'm sure those of us who have been here for the last couple of days, it's truly a slice of paradise. And it is often very difficult to know what to do in Mauritius because there is so much and so many things to choose from. And we'd like to urge you, before you forget, after all the deliberations, after the conference, please make sure you spend a day or two to explore and enjoy Mauritius, the hospitality of the people, the beautiful beaches, and they...
Honorable Yogita Sadinoven, Minister of Sport of Mauritius. Honorable Walter Kahanga, Deputy Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry of Zimbabwe. Mr. Simba Madinjenga, Acting Director of ETUSA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to extend a warm welcome to all the guests and delegates at the opening of the conference of Southern African Youth in Tourism, which has as themes promoting sustainable youth development through tourism. This conference is organized by ETUSA in collaboration with the government of Mauritius. I wish to thank ETUSA for choosing Mauritius as the venue for this conference. I understand that it is the first time that ETUSA is organizing a conference targeting the youth in tourism sector. Mauritius is a country well known for its tourist industry, and you could not have chosen a better place for this conference, especially when you have heard Mr. Nombo saying that it's a slice of paradise, and you have been, those who have been here for the past 2 days, have some sightseeing around the island. Tourism has become one of the major sectors in international trade, at the same time representing one of the main income sources for many developing countries. International tourism continues to grow above expectations, supporting economic growth in both advanced and emerging economies, bringing much needed support to job creation, GDP, the balance of payment of many destinations. The UNWTO gave a figure of 4.5% increase in international tourism arrival in 2014. This gives an idea of the growth of tourism even if the economy worldwide is not growing that much. An ever-increasing number of destinations worldwide have opened up and invested in tourism, turning tourism into a key driver of socio-economic progress, for export revenues, the creation of jobs and enterprises, and infrastructure development. In Mauritius, the tourism sector has, over the years, emerged as a key pillar of the economy, contributing to 7.2% to our GDP in 2014. And the total tourism receipt was 44.3 billion rupees. The number of tourists visiting our country in 2014 was 1,038,968, which represents a growth rate of 4.6%. On the other hand, the number of persons employed in the tourist industry is 34,038 as direct employment, of which 6,400 are under 25 years, representing the youth element. Around 70,000 indirect jobs are generated through the tourist industry. Mauritius is laying more and more emphasis in developing the tourism sector. In the government program 2015 and 2019, it is stated the tourism sector will be called upon to play a pivotal role toward achieving the targeted second economic miracle. We are preparing a new tourism strategic plan for 2016-2020 and diversifying our market, taking on board regional tourism and targeting the African countries. Our youth will be the leaders of tomorrow, and it is important to give some reflections on their involvement in promoting tourism growth and development in Southern Africa. RegioSAD is initiating targeted measures to facilitate sustainable youth development by creating a tourism platform for the young people in South Africa. This is a very laudable initiative that will promote regional integration and Southern Africa's single vision among the youth. Through such a platform, tourism can be used to facilitate employment, creation, and in the process contributing to poverty alleviation in RegioSAD member states. We believe that we must prepare the youth of Southern Africa to become a driving force in tourism development at the national and regional level so that the region grows its share in the global tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference will last for 2 days and will provide an excellent platform to build networks and raise awareness of the importance of bringing the youth in the mainstream for ensuring sustainable tourism development, facilitating employment creation, and poverty alleviation through tourism. This platform will also allow the youth to have a clear understanding of the different cultures across the region and the tourism product operating across Southern Africa. I wish you all a very fruitful deliberations and thank you for your attention.
This Southern Africa Youth in Tourism Conference, by giving a special vote of thanks to the government and to the people of Mauritius, in particular the Ministry of Tourism and External Communications, for not just accepting to host this historic conference for our youth in Southern Africa, but for also volunteering to provide the venue, accommodation, food, and internal transportation to all the delegates of the conference. I think we want to give a hand to the government and the people of Mauritius. Honorable Minister, through you, we want to express our gratitude. I also want to thank the staff at the ministry for the coordination and excellent arrangements that they've done for us. I will also thank, of course, our experts, the presenters who have agreed to come and share with us their expertise in different areas of tourism development and to share with our youth. Of course, also to thank youth delegates who are here. Honorable Ministers, I want to also recognize our Junior Minister and the Deputy Junior Minister. We have a program for young kids targeting school kids to be exposed to what is happening in this industry at this level. I also want to say that it is not by accident that we are here today. This is out of a careful consideration and realization that youth play a very strategic role in the development and in the growth of our tourism sector. This is true in all the regions now across the world. This conference is a decision by our ministers responsible for tourism in SADC and the Retosa board that we must target the youth, we must engage the youth, we must involve the youth in the sustainable development of tourism in the region. At Rotosa, we are very keenly aware that without the youth, all our targets, all our strategic objectives of taking the tourism industry to the next level, of being competitive at the global marketplace, we will not be able to achieve if we don't involve, if we don't engage, and if we don't have the participation of the youth. It is our target as a region that we must grow our share of the global tourism cake from just 2% that we are getting now to over 5%. And to achieve that, we will not be able to do so if we don't involve our youth. It is therefore a strategic objective of this conference to ensure that we mainstream our youth and that they become not leaders of tomorrow, but our co-leaders in leading this sector into the next level on the global marketplace. We are aware that in our rural areas, in the urban areas, it is the youth who are sitting next to the tourism resource that we possess as a region. We are looking at the wildlife, the forests, the mountains, the oceans, the culture, the arts, the heritage that we have. It is the youth who can expose and optimally exploit these resources for us and push us to the right place on the global marketplace. As such, we want to make sure that through this conference we are able to place the youth in their rightful position. We know that the youth are sitting alongside the resource, but we also know that they don't have access to this resource. The questions are why? Is it our policies? Is it the legal framework? Is it that they are not skilled? They are not educated? Is it that they are not aware of these resources? And is it lack of funding or exposure? These are questions that this conference will be asking. The objective is not just to interrogate these questions, but also to make sure that we start to craft the answers to these questions, and to also craft the strategies to these questions. I have referred in my presentation, I've talked of the next level. What is this next level? This next level is talking about spacecrafts, aeroplanes that are now taking tourists into space. This is a level where competition will not just be with America, with Asia, with Europe, but with the destinations in space. This is a level where the product is going to be marketed, is going to be sampled in visual space and sold and paid for online. This is an era where some of us who no longer are defined or fall in the category of youth, people who are now very uncomfortable with the new technology that is coming on the market. It's an era where we are not as effective. And it's an era where we see that our young ones are being born using the new gadgets as toys. Use of technology is second nature to them. So it is important, if we are going to be competitive, it is important that we get the youth involved, because this is the new level. This is the new dispensation. Without the youth, we will remain behind. I want to conclude by then saying to the youth, this conference is your conference. We are only here to facilitate, to capacitate, to assist, to bring you on board as our co-pilots, our co-leaders in taking our sector to the next level. Lastly, the other objective of the conference will be to ensure that we craft a strategic framework, action plan, as well as to come up with a steering committee of the youth that will assist the TOSA Secretariat and SADC to ensure that youth are mainstreamed at the regional level, and to ensure that we then create the necessary structures at the national level. With this, I want to welcome all the delegates to this beautiful island of Mauritius and also to this conference. Thank you.
This important conference, even as I left mainland Africa, I said an important thing is happening in the islands, nation of Mauritius. Therefore, it is with great honor and enormous satisfaction that I speak to you today. As you all know, this is an inaugural event and therefore a milestone for tourism development in our region. Allow me, on behalf of all conference delegates, to begin my remarks by giving a word of thanks to the people and the government of Mauritius for the excellent hospitality extended to all delegates here present and in hosting this inaugural Southern Africa Youth and Tourism Conference. Honorable Minister, allow me to express our special word of thanks to you personally for allowing this event to happen here in Mauritius. Allow me again, Honorable Minister, to say that we would not have asked for a better venue for this conference. The siting of this place, the quality, the ambience, to evoke many feelings and ambitions among all here present. We also take this opportunity to thank the whole team from the Ministry of Tourism and Leisure for all the dedicated and efficient logistical support. I'm sure we all comfortable in our hotels. As the world continues to register overall growth in the travel, tourism and hospitality sector, regions like Southern Africa must take heed of such trends and be part of those statistics. Looking at the spare capacity, most Southern African states boast that there is room for tourism growth and to maximize all the potential benefits that can be reaped through tourism. Tourism has been described as a tidal wave of opportunity and a low-hanging fruit ready for the people. It is therefore imperative for Southern Africa to invest on a strategy towards tourism development. Such a strategy calls for the restructuring of the traditional composition of players in the industry to include the youths. The TOSA, the implementing agency for Southern Africa, has indeed taken a great stride by acknowledging the vital role youths can play in the region's tourism development. The hosting of the Youth Tourism Conference by TOSA is the case in point. a welcome move that will set its mark in the history of the region and pave way for many other such endeavors to follow. Recent exponential growth in the world technologies is partly owed to innovative youths like Mark Zuckerberg. It is the youth of the region that the future of tourism will come from. Youths are the leaders of tomorrow and should be prepared to handle the industry when they are handed the relay button to take over the region's tourism development. SADC member states should start the process by ensuring the inclusion of youths in tourism, such that regional synergies created thereafter produce the best possible results for the region as a whole. There should be comprehensive programs designed for the youth to gain greater appreciation of sustainable tourism management and projects that familiarize them with new technologies and their applicability in tourism. The idea here is to include all the willing youths at their different levels of education and put them to task, because their efforts, no matter how little, can account for regional growth of tourism and increase on the region's rivals on a global scale. This idea should be robustly addressed in our regional and national tourism policies to ensure that the youth benefit from abundant tourism resources domiciled in our countries. In tertiary institutions, there should also be ways of involving the youth. Awards can start to be given to tourism and hospitality departments at universities that perform particular researches that are useful in the growth of regional tourism. These awards should not be limited to those youths only, since there are also youths outside tertiary institutions. And as such, there should be monitoring committees for youth-run tourism projects to award those as well. Youths should be empowered in order for the region to fully utilize their capabilities, their capacities. They should be given areas of authority such that they influence decisions. Governments should ensure the youth are involved in the development of tourism policies and development plans. A good example is the Nairobi International Youth Empowerment Participation in Tourism, which is part of Nairobi's development of a virtual youth empowerment center in pursuance to tourism for positive change. According to them, it tackles issues such as cultural pluralism, employability, investment, entrepreneurship, youth innovation, diversification for sustainability, poverty eradication, and the use of information communication technologies in the tourism industry. All our member states should take pride in initiatives such as has been said by Kenya in this regard. Another important issue that is of importance is obviously the information communication technology to tourism. Its application time. The region should embrace the economic and social-cultural transformation brought about by our cities across the globe. I've always maintained that there are two revolutions taking place in our contemporary times. That is ICT and travel revolution. These revolutions thrive on the creative power of our young people. You will think of the first book immediately. The name comes into your mind. With each day, the capabilities of ICTs grow, giving users a reduction in costs and the ability to do business on a global scale. As far as tourism is concerned, ICTs are playing a pivotal role in globalization and are empowering the tourists to us. How does this relate to tourism? A lot, I must say. Almost all marketing now is done on the internet. Nowadays, and failure to keep up with these trends is literally business suicide. The region should embrace these technological changes as they afford us a platform to market ourselves to the world. Conclusively, the region is in its strategies of sustainable tourism development program should include the youth and adopt ICTs to increase efficiency and cut back on costs. The youths should be able to run their own projects with the use of new technologies and should be tasked to find innovative ways to improve the region's approach to sustainable tourism development. As can be seen from the content of this workshop I went through the program, all the areas which are highlighted will be thoroughly addressed. So let us make full use of the time and debate vigorously so that we can set a tone for future workshops of this nature and eventually chart a course for the youth tourism. Thank you.
Welcome to the South Africa Youth in Tourism Conference. For many decades, tourism in the African continent was spearheaded by the Northern Maghreb region. Unfortunately, during the last 5 years, tourism industry of that region has experienced difficulties due to political instability and terrorism. This is why the conference starting today represents what we should call an opportunity. It is high time to reflect on how to tap and develop tourism market. With the world becoming a village, we should be able to attract in the SADC countries people all parts of the planet. Talking about the opportunities, you will be surprised to note that Africa receives 3% of the tourism market share in the world. It also gets 5% of arrivals. However, of these, Southern Africa only receives 2% of both. Yet, the region has, if put together, arguably the best tourism resort base in the world. In this respect, Ritosa believes that it is strategic for the youth to become a driving force in the tourism development at the national and regional level, so that the region grows its shares of the global tourism cake. Ladies and gentlemen, the youth constitute emerging leaders of their communities and as part of implementing its mandate. Ritosa is initiating targeted measures to facilitate sustainable youth development by creating a tourism platform for the young people in Southern Africa, whether it is university studies, business, or leisure. Countries of the region form an attractive network of destinations. By consolidating such a platform, Ritosa hopes to facilitate employment creation and poverty alleviation through tourism. The strategic objectives of this conference are to facilitate the mainstreaming of tourism into education system across the region, involve the youth in the development of tourism in the member states, promote regional integration and Southern Africa as a single vision among the youth, and finally, use tourism as a vehicle of employment creation and in the process contribute to poverty alleviation in Ritosa member states. The member countries all share the belief that real sustainability and competitiveness of tourism development in Southern Africa can only be achieved by involving the youth in all aspects of the industry. The United Nations World Tourism Organization observes that the very nature of tourism as a people-based economy activity makes it a natural ally in fostering inclusive development and social cohesion. At a recent experts review workshop on the SADC industrialization strategy framework held in late March in Harare, Zimbabwe, chairperson of the SADC committee, our senior official Joy Bima, said that Southern Africa will fully realize maximum benefit from its vast natural resources only if countries in the region develop and strengthen their industries. And as a matter of fact, industrialization will allow the region to add value to its natural resources and get more in return when exporting finished or processed goods. At present, SADC countries get very little in return since the resources are usually exported in their raw form, with most of the value addition and beneficiation takes place outside the region. Currently, the structure of production in the SADC region is one where the large shares of GDP, nearly 50%, originate from primary production of goods in the agricultural and mining sector. The majority of Southern Africa's mineral-rich states are not only earning the minimum from their resources via the export of unprocessed ore, but are also limiting employment benefits, wealthy diversification, and leaving themselves vulnerable for fluctuations of the global resource market. This is where the next generation of African leaders and stakeholders step in. You have got resources and vast domestic markets to develop and explore. As you may know, the new government here in Mauritius has decided to build up and support an army of entrepreneurs. We are promoting small and medium enterprises which can create jobs and help us increase our growth rate exponentially. In most countries, the SME sectors is the one who employs the more people. That sector has therefore a big role to play in reversing the unemployment curve. Furthermore, Mauritius has expertise in the tourism field. and expertise which can be shared to other countries where the tourism industry could be strengthened. In fact, Southern Africa is in the process of concluding the drafting of a new blueprint that will recalibrate the region's development trajectory for the next 5 years. First of all, it seeks to promote industrial development and market integration through, among other things, strengthening the productive competitiveness and supply side capacity of member states, as well as improving movement of goods and facilitating financial market integration and monetary cooperation. Thus, emphasis should be put on provision and improvement of infrastructure support for regional integration. The region already has a regional infrastructure development master plan that was approved at the Summit of Heads of State and Government in Maputo, Mozambique in 2012. Last but not least, priority will be given to promotion of special programs of regional dimension under clusters such as education and human resource development. Health, HIV and AIDS and other communicable disease, food security, transboundary natural resources, environment, gender equality, and science, technology and innovation, and research and development. I firmly believe that the conference will surely focus on the ability of tourism to empower people and provide them with skills to achieve change in their local communities, while highlighting the critical role that community engagement has in promoting sustainable development. In due time, we should be able to cater for tailor-made trip plans. When someone would be able to study a course in a Mauritian university, go and watch horse racing in South Africa, climb the Tundabala volcanic slopes in Angola, and enjoy a safari in Botswana on the back of an elephant. Well, this is just an array of magnificence of Southern Africa. We shall achieve all this if we can devise a common strategy and give it all its chance to succeed. Hence the importance of having a regional hub which will ease connectivity, because right now that remains a big concern for business proposals. Trade preferences could be worked out, treaties established for non-double taxation also. It is clear that we're still suffering from the consequences of the financial crisis which started back in 2008. People are less willing to travel to far countries. They have cut in their leisure budget. This is why we need to focus on neighbor countries. Just like in the Indian Ocean, we have started to reap the fruits of the Vanilla Island strategy. In Mauritius, we have observed a new phenomenon during the last years. That is one which sees many African students coming here to pursue tertiary education. They are ambassadors who can witness the advantages of regional cooperation. Offshore campuses have been implemented here, and slowly but surely they are tapping into the market share of European universities. Africa is the new place to be. Economists are being really optimistic about growth market on the continent. Some African countries are even achieving double-digit growth. So I will invite all the youth to ponder on that, because the region offers a lot of opportunity. I'm confident that we will make the most of this conference, interconnecting with delegates from other member countries, get to know other cultures, or brainstorm on avenues of cooperation, so that tomorrow Southern African region be an example to follow at worldwide level. To conclude, I will invite all delegates to spare some time from their busy schedule to visit our beautiful island. I now have the pleasure and privilege to declare this Youth in Tourism Conference officially open. Thank you.